So welcome to MLS Listings Virtual Open House. So what this is mainly to talk about systems, right? How to find virtual open houses in Matrix and how to input a virtual open house. So first of all, what is a virtual open house, right? So we're going to be talking about all that. Again, my name is Carlos Rodriguez. You've probably come to some of my classes. You've seen my photo in the past, but I want to just share this image with you. I believe you can see me right there. Is that right? So that's me right there. You can see my face now. I'm waving at you. So usually I don't do that, but so today I'm just sharing a little bit of where I'm at and all that. We are working remotely. So let me disable the camera. We don't need it. That's me, my information and all that. I always introduce my team: Mark Messimer, Dave Scalora, and well, the three of us are the trainers at the MLS. Mark's the director, and he's more like a spokesperson of the MLS, and he's out there all the time with with the brokerages, talking about the MLS and bringing the different topics to you. So what's on the agenda today? We need to understand or differentiate what is an open house versus a virtual tour. That's two different things. People are getting confused, right? So we all know what an open house is. When your house is ready to show and you just signed a contract, they cleaned it up and they say, okay, let's open it up, right? People can come over to the house and they can walk through the house. However, we need to state that open houses are prohibited right now. We all know why, right? Because of the current situation with the COVID. Starting March 2020, the county, the state, the country itself, they all prohibited the open houses across the United States, basically. The physical ones because of the situation. So there are no open houses, no physical, right? There is something that we call the virtual tour. The virtual tour is a pre-recorded video, right, of the property, which could be very professional. You can contact a company like Tour Factory, which is the one we work with. You pay them, they go to the property, they go inside, they record it, and they make it look beautiful as a video with your information at the top. It's going to be branded, a branded virtual tour with your logo, your everything, right? That is a virtual tour, which is a branded tour and it's pre-recorded. So we're going to talk about how to input that. I mean, that's not really critical, but the most important thing is understanding what is a virtual open house. So remember, we don't have any physical open houses, but we have virtual open houses, right? If you're still planning to show the property, the best way to attract clients to the house so that they can see it is virtually, just like what we're doing right now. I mean, nothing else to say, right? We are still having the class remotely. It's exactly the same way you're going to do that. So what I'm trying to say with this is that it's got to be a live session, not a pre-recorded virtual tour. People are getting so confused, right, with those two concepts. Virtual tour, pre-recorded, you can attach it to your listing. So when agents find it on our system, they click on that virtual tour and they can see it. And not only the agents, the consumers on their end as well. So what types of tools can you use for your virtual open house, which is supposed to be live? So let's say I'm going to have a virtual open house on Saturday. So first thing first, right? You need to list your property as an active listing on the MLS, right? Active. And then once it's active, it will allow you to do a virtual open house. If you try to do a regular open house, it will say, you can't do that, right? Or a broker tour, same thing. Those two things are prohibited right now. So when you say virtual open house, yeah, it will let you add your active home to an open house for this Saturday from 1 to 4, for example. But there is one condition. It won't let you set it up if you don't have that link for the virtual tour. So we will talk about the different tools that we have for that. So I'm going to show you how to input that virtual open house on our system on listing management and how to search for virtual open houses. and I'll talk to you about a couple of tricks and tips, right? On maybe you came here to this class believing, okay, Carlos is going to tell us how to run the virtual open house, but that's not exactly our job. I'm going to tell you though, right? I'm going to give you a couple of ideas. Again, it's not exclusive from the MLS, but I can get you started with that. I've been doing this webinar thing for about 15 years or so, right? So I consider myself kind of like an expert doing this, but still technology is so overwhelming that there are newer and newer things coming out that you can use. So let's get started with that. So I'm going to start with what is a virtual tour, right? So I'm going to close and I'm going to have to go back and forth right there. So if I run a search in Matrix right here, click search and say active single family homes in San Jose, right? I'm going to go to results and right away I see a couple of virtual tours. This is a virtual tour. This is a virtual tour, and all that. If I click on one of them, it's going to, well, this one didn't open. That's weird. Usually they do, right? Like this one, Amadon Custom Home, right? And it shows you the property. They usually do like a drone type of thing, fly over, show you the property from different angles. And those images are perfect, right? You see the logo of the company and all that. That's a virtual tour. I'm going to close it. We're not talking about those things today because that's it. We've always had them. Everybody knows what those are, right? So we were talking about something different. Now, where if you have that virtual tour, where do you input it? So if you create a new listing, so let me step back and go back to our main page, which is Pro homepage, right? When you go to manage listings right here, you can start a new listing from here and maintain it. I'm going to go to the bottom of the page to my training site. This is a similar site that they created for us, right? So I'm going to go to active right here. And I'm going to view my active listings that I created. And I want to open up one of them like this one on Francis, right? So if I say edit, I would like to edit that listing that I already created and it's active. There is a keyword search. So I can say virtual and it's going to bring me to the unbranded virtual tour area. So right in here, one of the sections out of these will bring me right underneath marketing photos, right? Where you add your photos for your listing. We have the branded virtual tour and the unbranded virtual tour. This is the one we just saw in Matrix, the little icon that people can click on, right? But again, this is the pre-recorded video. If you record it yourself using your phone and want to post it, you can still do it. You uploaded it to YouTube and you can put it right here, correct? But then the problem here is that since this is you and it's not branded, it's not going to go out there. It's going to go on the client reports only, right? And we just recently added a couple of other tours: branded 3D tour, unbranded 3D tour, drone tour, unbranded drone tour, and so forth. So multiple fields that were requested and so forth. So let me step back, going back to this. Now we know how to input the virtual tour, right? But again, the topic today is virtual open houses, right? And I'm going to show you how to add a virtual open house later on. But actually, let me show it to you right now. If you are ready for your open house, remember you have to have a listing that is active already. So going back to my listing management tool. So basically I went from here into here, right? Where you create your listings. So it opens up. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard and my listing has to be already active, right? Once my listing is active, like in this case, I can go to select an action and go into virtual open houses right there. And I want to say, I want to schedule my virtual open house for this coming Saturday from 1 to 4. I'm going to be the host, and I can type a couple of remarks here, show up on time, log in 5 minutes before the session starts, or something like that. And the important thing about this is adding this link. If I don't add it, this is a required field, as you can see with the asterisk. It won't let me save it, right? So to put it this way, you're going to have to use a system to generate that link. So how are we going to do this? I'll show you that in a couple of minutes, right? But before we tell you that, now I showed you how to input the virtual open house, right? And we're going to go back to it later. How to search for virtual open houses for your clients? Well, it's really simple. When you go to Matrix and start running a search for active properties in Santa Clara, I'm just going to say it this way, Santa Clara, right? So how many properties we have? 700 and something, supposedly. Oh, active. Clear. Oh, yeah. So active single-family homes in Santa Clara. So I forgot the single-family part. So 745 properties. Now, I want to know how many of those are going to have a virtual open house this coming Saturday or Sunday. How do I do this? There are 2 or 3 different ways of knowing that. So if this is for you, you go to Matrix, right? Clients can still find virtual open houses on their end, and I'm going to show you that. So I went to Santa Clara. Out of 745, how many of those are virtual open houses? So I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to go into additional fields and say add and remove, right? And you have to find that out of this list of available fields, you have to find the one that says, let me find, I already had it right there before, I think. All the rooms, remarks, proper condition. Oh, open house type, I'm sorry. So you're gonna find open house type right here and move it to the right, correct? Once you have it right there, I'm gonna move it to the very top of my list. And this is you looking for virtual open houses that you're gonna suggest to your client, right? And you send them the information, you have them register, and then you go, right? Now, I said, remember, well, I'm gonna step back. Now that I already have it, open house type, I have the extra field that I need. So I enter my criteria, single family homes, active single family homes in Santa Clara. Out of 775, are there any in-person open houses? 0 matches, right? That's because we don't have any open houses right now. Not physical, because we're going to be violating the state regulations, county regulations, federal regulations with the COVID. So be really careful about that. Do not do any live open houses. Virtual. We have 5 virtual open houses. So I can go to my results and check them out. There's one on Fairbrook Drive. There are not that many, and we are surprised because people should be doing this a lot, right? But on the right-hand side, I think you can switch right here from here to open house display, and it can show you when that is happening and all that, but it does not provide you with the link, right? In fact, if I open this, there is a section right in the middle that says virtual open house, and they're going to have a Facebook Live. Okay, that's the first tool that I wanted to talk to you about, right? You can use Facebook Live to do your open house, but don't do it alone. You're going to need help, either the seller being at the house or one of your colleagues, and maybe somebody else helping you to be the host and the co-host. So it's not a one-person show, to be honest with you. You have to have a couple of people involved. You need to synchronize and all that. So I've got the information I needed, right? This is the first way. Remember, under criteria, what I did, I just included that field, open house type, and I said, show me the virtual results. That is one way of finding them. The other way is you go to search, and if you don't see open houses right here, they're usually hiding under more. Click more, scroll down, and go to open houses right here, and click open house search. I'm looking for residential, single family homes in Santa Clara, right? Same thing. I don't know why I come up with different numbers right here. I'm going to have to talk to engineering about that. So right now it says residential single family homes in Santa Clara for open houses. Well, that's weird. It says 139, right? But that's not true. So open houses, I already have the open house type field in here. So in person, 0. Virtual, oh, what happened? Did I enter it right? Oh, SCC. So make sure it picks the code. See, that's why. SCC, it tells me I have 10. The other one says 5. This one says 10. I need to understand the discrepancy. I need to go back to engineering to clear that up. But now you know where those two things are. So the one thing I like about this second method I showed you under search open houses, right? And then under my criteria, it said residential, single family homes. Let me check one thing. We don't have the active button here. Maybe that's why it's giving me more, right? I don't see the active. Remember on the other one I said active? So that's probably why. But so what I like is that once you go to results, you see the link for that. So there are 4, like for this Brazil group right here. Now, there's some confusion. Apparently, I mean, I'm not criticizing or anything. He's doing a great job, this agent. But I believe these are like pre-recorded sessions. So we want more like something like this, web Zoom meeting, right? So either Facebook, Zoom, GoToMeeting, or any of those. If I copy this link, right? Let's copy that and let's go and open a tab and type it in, right? Usually, oh, I hope it doesn't start me, but okay, you can go directly. If I say launch the meeting, it's gonna get me started if it's the time to start that, right? But what it's best, I think I found another one right here. Let me remember which one. This one on Daniel Way, I believe. All right, let's take a look at that one. When I go to this one and enter that one, or try to enter, this is exactly what we would like to see, right? There is a registration page. You're going to post this link when you go to my listing, remember? And I was creating my virtual open house after it's active. Remember, I went to my active listings and I said, I want to create a virtual open house. And it was asking me about the link. This is the link I can add. And then I add the remarks. So this is a fake one, of course. I mean, this is a real link from one of the agents that I just took, pretending it's mine, and submit, right? The date though, right? I forgot the date. It's going to be for Saturday from 1 to 4. Carlos is going to be the host. Or let's actually do this better, right? It's going to be Jennifer Lopez. Or, I don't know, Lady Gaga. And then hit submit. So I hope that they show up if they see that, right? See, I created my virtual open house right here. So when people click on that link, they're going to land on that registration page. So you're going to capture all the data that is super necessary, because then you can call them up and all that. Now, there are many different ways of creating virtual open houses, right? Remember, live sessions. Now we understand how to input the virtual open house using listing management. Remember, it's got to be the condition number 1. It's got to be active. Otherwise, it doesn't let you do this. Condition number 2, it's got to be a live session, not a pre-recorded one. And like I said, people can also find virtual open houses going to our consumers page, right? So where is our consumers page? I'm going to show it to you. I think I didn't open it up. Let me go and open an extra tab. Go to MLSListings.com, right? Which is our consumers page from MLS Listings. People go here all the time to run their searches themselves. And I'm going to say Santa Clara, the county, right? City, county, or zip code. I'm going to say, show me the county. How many properties are there in the county right now? As we speak, there are 1,500 active listings in the area. I can say, yeah, but just show me single family homes. How do I do that? So it's showing me the median price. I can go right here and say, show me single family homes. There are 558 single family homes, right? In this, why do we have less? Did you notice that? Okay, so there is a very specific reason why I only see 558 results. And remember when I ran my search in Matrix, how many did I have? 750 or something like that? Why? Why the discrepancy? Because over here, we're not looking at the ones that have the letter M, members only, show and do not show. Same thing for the mobile apps. So we're not syndicating, we're not sending all those members only listings to the different mobile applications and to the different MLSs. We are not sharing them with the MLSs. We're not sharing them with the other websites, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, any of them. So even our own page doesn't have those. See, that's why we have less results. But now, once we're here, people want to say, yeah, but I want to take a look at the virtual open houses. I don't want to drive down to Morgan Hill or to Palo Alto. I just want to do it virtually. There are 4 results. Apply. These are the 4 results that we got, right? So there is this on Sandia Avenue in Sunnyvale, one more in San Jose, one more in Mountain View, River Drive. So these are all virtual from 1 to 11, from 1 p.m. and I don't know why it says 11:45 p.m. It's all day long. So I'm believing that maybe this is this is a virtual tour. We're not talking about virtual tours. We're talking about virtual open houses, right? So again, we go back to the same over and over that people are not understanding the concept. They are adding their link of their pre-recorded everything here. Now, what I'm going to show you, let me continue with, now you know that people can find them over there. Let's continue with the tricks and tips, right? So going to the next one. If you are scheduling your open house for Saturday or Sunday or whenever, and you are the host, like I said, you need to have a couple of different roles right here, right? First of all, clear out a room or area at home that you can fully utilize as your workspace, which is what I do. This area where I'm at right now, I'm away from my grandkids that are downstairs, and I'm away from my wife. I don't want any distractions. Do not put this space in a busy room, obviously, because you don't want people to pass by in the back while you are doing this, right? Equipment. What equipment do you need? Acquire the equipment necessary for going virtual, right? So you're going to need your Mac or your PC with a built-in camera. Dual monitors. That's something I learned when I started teaching classes and all that. I always need a second monitor. So you are looking at my main screen right now, which is this, but I have a secondary one where I put all the little items on the side, and I have my controllers on the other side, right? My chat room where I see who's arriving to the meeting and all that. You're going to have to do sort of like that. So dual monitors are always needed. Logitech camera with a USB connectivity, cell phone, and gimbal. What is a gimbal? So we'll talk about that in a minute. Well, actually, gimbal is a stabilizer. So you've probably seen it with the big cameras at the stadiums that a guy runs right behind the football player with that thing, which is actually making sure that the camera doesn't shake, right? It's super stable. So there are some really cheapy ones for like $50 on Amazon that you can buy, and you can use it to walk through the house, and the images are going to be super steady, right? So those are just recommendations. Again, we're not like the experts. We are the experts with the systems. These are just a couple of suggestions. So what systems can you use? You can use Zoom. You can use GoToMeeting. You can use WebEx, Facebook Live. Right now there is Teams, but I don't think that's quite like good for this. Teams and Meet Now from Google, right? Well, there's a couple out there. If you're super familiar with one of them, go for it. But most of the people are using Zoom for this, right? It's really convenient. They are offering a free account. I remember I signed up for my account like a year ago when we started with the pandemic, but it's not quite what I needed. It's super basic. So it's recommended to pay for the service. It's like $15 a month, something like that. Once you set up your system, go over each setting carefully. Take your time to set up your system completely, and usually you can use for your meeting ID, you can use your cell phone and synchronize your calendar, your Zoom calendar, right? For scheduling. Now, as you go through the settings, make sure that the participant video is on, right? audio through your computer is on. And if the audio fails, because many times I'm teaching the class and my audio could fail, right? In fact, I always log in 20 minutes before to make sure everything is fine. I go through all the settings and wait for people to arrive, which is like today's class, right? But the virtual open house is going to be more interactive because you're going to have cameras. You're going to have a couple of people participating and all that. If your audio fails, you can call in, right? There's always that option to dial in. Now, FaceTime, some people might say, okay, I can use my FaceTime. That's not so good. It's not good. It's good for 2 people, but if you try to incorporate more people, it's not that good. Now, for disclosures, if you're having an open house, you can have those documents ready. You downloaded them on your computer, you save them, you organize them on Doc Central or your Dropbox, right? And you can name the documents with the document title first and the address like this. And or you can always use Google Drive to store and share your videos, which is once you go through this presentation, if you decide to record it, you can store your videos right there and or your documents or large files. First of all, familiarize yourself. It should say familiarize, not familiar. Familiarize yourself with Zoom, GoToMeeting, WebEx, or Facebook Live, whichever you're going to use, right? Now, that's not it. You have to run a couple of tests, right? Some dry runs with your family, with friends, with your coworkers. Pretend one of them is the seller. Tell them what to do. So you have a couple of roles here. One of them is going to be the seller, right? The owner of the house. The other one is going to be the listing agent. Who's the listing agent? You, the host, right? The other one is going to be the buyer's agent, maybe, or maybe well, if somebody else arrives because they found this link on the website, on the public website, they will just arrive and they will try to figure out how to follow you, right? Now, there is a little characteristic on Zoom called Spotlight, right? That we will talk about. I think I posted that on, I posted a link on the chat room. I hope you can go. I posted 2 links. Try to find the chat room right now. It's very important. And I posted a YouTube video that will give you, it's like a 30-minute class on all of this from a different perspective, right? Which is really great. So one of our colleagues gave it to us. It's on YouTube. So I posted it right there, right? The first one is a YouTube video, but the second one is about that feature that I'm telling you about, right? The Spotlight. So be sure to test the Spotlight feature to ensure proper functioning, right? During the Zoom call, there will be 3 dots at the top of the screen. If you are the host, you will see that, and click on that to select, well, I want the seller to be on the spotlight, right? And they will be the ones that will show the house with that. Now, this is if you decide to do a live show. Many times, and I'm going to be honest with you, right? I wouldn't feel that comfortable like having like everything running back and forth with my camera all around the house. So honesty is actually good, right? So I would definitely, this is just one method where you can have a couple of people and get them involved and you handle the camera. Well, I'm going to be the host and all that. But to me, this is to Carlos, right? What I would do if I were you, I would pre-record with my gimbal, with my phone, the house, right? You start outside, so we're gonna go over that. So I'll get over that in a second, right? Confirm, you need to confirm, as you're preparing, confirm that the sellers have the phone with camera. We'll know that. Confirm that the buyers have a computer for watching. Of course, they have to have that. And everybody should download the application, right? This is what I was telling you about. So how do you record the video? If you have to record a video, I would do that, right? With my phone, I would set it up on their movie and I would use the gimbal to stabilize the image. Start outside of the house. Go far away from the house, right? And look at the house and start walking inward towards the front door. Open the door, make sure it's open, and then start walking through. Okay, this is the living room, but move slowly from left to right. Always use your phone in a landscape mode. What is landscape? So if you, of course, I guess everybody's familiar, right? If we print, right, it always says portrait, this is portrait, this is landscape, which is horizontally, right? Make sure your phone is in landscape mode. Guide the seller through the tour as as um, as a buyer would, right? So pretend there is a buyer in the house and the seller is going to walk with the phone around the house showing the different areas. I mean, that is if you do it live, but if you record it yourself like I did before, it's a lot easier. You just take your time to do that. But of course, there's some prep before all that, right? And if you are still doing it live with the seller, remind the seller to stay quiet, mute them if necessary, and all that. And don't forget, clean up the house, turn on the lights, or tell the seller to clean up the house, turn on the lights, open the blinds, be prepared to open and close it and follow directions and all that. Ensure all parties involved with the Zoom have Zoom or other video conferencing application, which is what we discussed earlier. And of course, you're going to ensure that everybody's got a smartphone, right, or a camera if they want to participate, if this is really live 100%. Now, if you pre-record it, so let me clear that up because I don't want you to get confused. What I said, I would pre-record my tour through the house, then I have my meeting, right? I uploaded my pre-recorded video on YouTube as a private video nobody can see. And then the day of the meeting when people arrive, I can have the video on my screen and share it, right? And you just narrate it. You just talk over the video live, right? So it works exactly the same way, right? You don't need to bother anyone to go with a camera, show this, show that, and give instructions. You just show the video. And as you go through the video, you can pause it because it's YouTube. You can pause it if it's a kitchen. Give them a little speech about the kitchen and all that, and then continue, like resume with your video and all that. So either or, live or pre-recorded, but it's got to be super or 100% live with the narration, right? Now, the sending calendar invites and all that, you already took care of that, right? Day of the meeting, if it's a live session that you are conducting with the seller on the other side and all that, you need to clean up your desktop, right? Which is what I do. If I'm showing things here on my computer, I always need to clean up everything, right? So if I go through everything, I mean, a lot of times you have this, and you don't want people to take a look at all your applications and all that. It's kind of like, not too good. Be sure to turn your phone or device on do not disturb during the call. Right? So that's what I do actually during the night. I say I don't want to receive any calls from 10 p.m. until 11 a.m. because I'm teaching a class and my phone starts ringing and all that. Well, you can do the same here. And also disable the notifications. If you're showing your screen like I am, make sure that you disable notifications, your email, your everything, because what's going to happen, you are going through your presentation, maybe recording it if you decided to record it, right? Zoom has a feature to say, I want to record immediately as soon as I start my session, or you can start recording whenever you decide, right? But if you're recording and all of a sudden you have that pop-up message from your email saying, hey daughter, hey son, have you eaten your soup yet? Or something from mom, you're not gonna look that professional, right? Or something even worse. Things happen. So I disable all my notifications when it's a live presentation like this, because I've been there, especially when I show my phone during one of those classes for mobile applications. My phone, I have to disable everything because every application has the pop-up, right? Now, remember again to prep everything, run a couple of, you need to familiarize, everybody's got to familiarize with it. The seller has to play around with it if they're going to play that role. The buyer's agent have to play around with the system. The three of you need to, you're the host, the listing agent, you have the seller, you have the buyer's agent. You run a little, remember you played around with your family members or friends. Now you do one with the seller and one with the buyer's agent, and to make sure they understand how this works. And if the seller is walking around the house, if they're participating, tell the seller to remain quiet and do not try to sell the house themselves. That's what you're here for. You're their agent, right? If you allow them, so that's why you put them on mute. If you allow them to talk, they might start trying to say, okay, I know more than you, so let me try to sell this house, right? So that's not really good. So we're almost over. I need to show you a couple of other things. So once again, during the prep, start outside, have the seller. Well, we already went over all of this, right? About how to prep for this presentation. Let me just make sure I covered everything. I think I did. Number 19. So yeah, I guess we're good. Don't forget that spotlight functionality. Where is that? If I go back to I wanted to show you that. I sent you the link already, and I have that under here, right? No, that's not it. Give me 1 second for that thing to disappear, and I'll show it to you, right? Oh, 1 second, 1 second. So just hang in there. We're almost done, but I want to be able to reach out. Okay, okay, pin or spotlight video, right? This one will tell you how that works, right? So if you already started your session on Zoom, you will see manage participants, and then you will see here spotlight video right there. So you can, if Molly is the seller, you want to put her on the spotlight so she shows her phone. You don't want her to show her face, but the front, right? The house. So that's spotlight. And yeah, so I sent you that link. So always Google whatever you're like not sure about, and you will always get the answers, of course. The other video I sent you is about this gentleman right here. He's a colleague of us, right? A partner with MLSListings that ran a show on how to create amazing virtual open houses. Now, they
Good morning,
actually,
good to see you.
I know you cannot probably
today to
hear
talk about the
him
new and
right now.
evolving
I
technology
am hearing
around
him on my
virtual
end.
open houses. There's lots of good ways to do
But this
virtual open
gentleman
houses.
runs that along with this gentleman right here.
You can
And they
start
talk
again from
about
the beginning.
like the little tricks to conduct your virtual open house nicely, neatly, and successfully, right? So copy that or look it up. How to create an amazing virtual open house. If you didn't get the link to the chat window, how to create an amazing virtual tour, and it should be any of those two gentlemen right there that you find. And this is a 39-minute video, but it's excellent, right? It's going to give you a really great deal of information, kind of like what I covered, but from a different perspective. And this gentleman even shows you the gimbal. Remember, I was telling you about the gimbal, stabilize your images when you go to the house and record it. So I don't think you can hear it.
The gimbal will not react correctly with a case. All you need to have left is just your bare phone, whether that's an iPhone or an Android. Now the next thing we need to do is learn how to mount it onto the gimbal. It's not just slip it in and turn it on. You have to actually make sure you balance it correctly. If not, you'll burn out your gimbal. So first things first, let's go ahead and slip it in.
He's going to do that.
And make sure we push it all the way down, all the way in, and we're going to want to mount it, and we're going to balance it before we actually even turn it on. If we try to do this when the gimbal is on, we will definitely burn out the engine. So as you can see right now, the gimbal is going all over the place. It's not really stabilizing itself too well. It's leaning towards one side. So what we want to do is we want to play around with the adjustment until it's stable 100% by itself before we turn it on. The way to do that is by taking this adjustment here and sliding either left or right until the gimbal starts to balance itself out. So I just made a small adjustment, and as you can see, it's tilting to the right, or my right, your left. And now I did it the other way, now it's going the other direction, so I'm almost there. I just need to make a small adjustment.
So I want to pause it. So I posted again the link on the chat, and I wanted to show you those two things. Now, if you have Facebook, right? Let me get rid of something here. I wanted to go to my Facebook page. So this is one of my Facebook pages, right? If you're doing a Facebook Live, this is what you can do. I'm creating an event. So let me actually start all from, leave this page. I'm going to start from scratch, right? On my home page. So this is my home page right here. Right, this is my professional Facebook page. This is not my family one. This is all about real estate. I want to go to events right there, create an event, and I want to go to create a new event, right? And on this side, it says, okay, I want to create an online event. you have to give it a name, right? I want to say 123 Main Street in San Jose, California, right? California 95123 or whatever it is. Forget about the N, right? And the date. So you have to say it's going to be for this Saturday at whatever time from 2 p.m. to whatever. You need to say the privacy. I want this private because you want to obtain the link and post it later and go next and follow everything right here. I want to do a Facebook Live. This is going to be a Facebook Live. They're going to send you a reminder about this and just follow the steps underneath, right? Go next and type a little description of the property. And even you can upload photos of the house and say, I want to use this. And you need to obtain that link that I mentioned to you before. Remember, the one we're going to be able to post on our listing management, which I believe I already closed. When you try to create, remember your listing is active, and then you say, I want to add a virtual open house. You cannot create it if you don't have the link. So by creating this event, I'm going to get that link I need for people to come and say, yes, I want to join and all that, right? Okay, that's Facebook. And last but not least, I'm going to use my Cisco WebEx, right? I have Zoom also, but both of them are very similar. So if you create, I'm under meetings and I schedule a virtual open house, it's a regular meeting and I need to go through everything. You may want to create an easy password like, I don't know, open house or something that people can get right away. Not something like that, right? That people cannot even type. And that's in case you want the password, which I believe is good. It's a good idea. Second, you say when and what time you want your meeting to start. So it's going to be for this coming Saturday at 1 p.m. It's going to be a 1-hour meeting, whatever. And if this is a recurrent meeting, like this Saturday and the next Saturday and the next Saturday, you do that. And then the most important thing is going through the advanced options, right? And scheduling options. So right here is going to say, let me choose, choose co-host. If you want somebody else to, like you're going to be sick that day and you already scheduled it, it's always a good idea to have a co-host so somebody else can start the meeting, right? The first person to join the meeting who has an account on this site can be the co-host. So maybe a couple of you have an account on WebEx or Zoom and they can be your helpers and save your life on Saturday. Now, another very important thing is you want to guests can join the meeting anytime. You can say, I'm going to need the password. I said that. And meeting options, I think it's right. Not under meeting options. Attendees privileges, right? You can say what are the privileges as a regular attendee. I just wanted to say there is a registration. I need registrations. I think I probably missed it, but it's somewhere over there, right? You can say automatically start recording when I start the session. You can set it up. And I'm kind of looking at that. I don't see it right now. Maybe under meeting options. Allow participants to take notes, file transfer. No, it should be right there. I think I kind of passed it already, right? But it is there. So make sure you select that a choice that says people have to register to come to this meeting. So then we will see exactly this, right? There's a webinar registration and nobody can just show up like that. They need to give you their first name, last name, email address, and so forth, and phone number. So you're collecting data before they come to the meeting. So when they show up, at least you're going to know who they are. You kind of pre-screen them, right? And that's pretty much about it. So I hope it was useful. So I know, like I said, there are different ways of doing this. Elaine, thank you very much for stopping by, Gian and Sushama. Thank you so much for